I think with going off-road, you just have so much freedom because it's kind of like the Wild West. You can just kind of do whatever you want. You can get sideways, you can go fast, and it's up to you to be in control. You know, you can't take the Porsche everywhere. You can go off-roading, but you know, this one you can do some hill climbing and some sand, and you can just take it a little further as far as off-road goes. Yeah, so Derek and I are about to take a run down to Mexico, as we've been working on the car for about, about a year and a half now, and we decided to take a run down, all the way down to Todos Santos. That way it would maybe simulate the rally that we're going to be doing, and I think it's going to be a good test for he and I as far as, you know, how we get along together on a long trip, being in the middle of nowhere, possibly breaking down, and really a test on the car. It's about 1,100 miles from LA, and I think Baja simulates maybe the train in Mongolia, I'm assuming. Plenty of washboard roads and plenty of off-road. So we'll go down and we'll stay at a hotel one night, we'll camp the next night, and then hopefully, if all goes well, it'll be a 3-day journey down, and we'll end up at my house down in Todos Santos. One of the reasons that we wanted to take the car down was to test the skid plates, the suspension, the tires. I'm not really sure what might be the weakest point. I'm assuming maybe the tires. We think we've picked the best tires, but it could be the tires, maybe the sidewall's not strong enough, or maybe the suspension might not be good enough on the washboard roads. But we're just gonna have to wait and see, because it's a test run, so we'll just have to go with it. I feel more comfortable and more secure when you actually know how everything mechanically works, rather than, I'll have, John or Joe or whatever work on the car, and he'll do everything, and then I'll just get in the car and drive away. I'm not gonna feel comfortable with that. That's gonna be sketchy. So I think it's a good idea to just know your car. The last thing I want to do is have a pretty car and just have it in a showroom, never drive it, or just take it on parade. It's so much better to get on the road and push it to the limits. You know, I couldn't do this without the help of my mechanics and my painter, who helped me helping me put the car back together. My co-driver, who was also helping me put the car back together, and then we're outfitting the car together as well. So I'm not making all the decisions. It's not my car, and it's like, you're my co-driver, and then we're going on the trip. Come along.
There it is, carburetors, your distributor, your generator, just simple, beautiful, just what you need, nothing more. And I love the fact that the 911 is a car that has evolved continuously for over 50 years now.
My first car was a Volkswagen Squareback. It was a 1968. I bought it from my dad. It already had maybe 300,000 miles on it. I mean, Porsche is just a better version of the Volkswagen, much better version. and it has the same suspension, so I know what it can handle. So coming from Volkswagen, I kind of graduated then to Porsche, and then I just knew that they could handle the roads. It's not about speed anyway, it's just about getting there. So I knew that a 912 had the right suspension, tiny bit lighter, and they're comfortable cars. And I feel just at home in one. So I think a 912 was just absolutely the perfect car to take.
The 912, I mean, to me, again, motto being keep it simple, stupid. And when you're doing a big event and you have potential for problems to build up along the way, you might as well keep the simplest car you can in the event, or run the simplest car. Here with a 912, you get the most developed, economical four-cylinder engine that Porsche built at the time, but you also get the modern 911 suspension and brakes and styling without having the complications of the 911 flat six engine in it. So it's almost, in my mind, you have the best of a 356 with the improvements in styling and suspension engineering and just engineering in general around the car of the 911. So in my mind, when you want economical, reliable sports car of that time, that's it. In my mind, if you have a water-cooled motor, that's one more system to worry about having a failure in. And it's not just one part that could fail. You've got a radiator, you've got hoses, you've got a water pump, you've got various components that are all potential failures or could get damaged. So already with an air-cooled Porsche, you've eliminated one whole category of things that can go wrong. And then with a 912, you know that this is also the best developed version of that engine. It's a great transmission, and it's simple.
Keep it simple, and just trust each other and just get on with it. It's gonna be, not gonna be, it's an amazing journey right now.
I'm Jamal. I run a sign shop called Signature Signs. Been painting signs for the last 5 or 6 years. And prior to that, the traditional signage, we were doing a little bit of billboard advertising, kind of in that traditional hand-painted fashion, just wall signs. So for me personally, I'm not fully fascinated with nostalgia, but I do respect traditional practice. Sign writing and lettering, just a unique process and kind of old-timey, old-fashioned. And I guess I appreciate most how it's sort of like the triumph of the human hand over, in a digital age. Not so much old-fashioned, but just sort of like tried and true. So you guys working on a vehicle that's 67 and then put in a vinyl sticker when they didn't start doing vinyl probably till like 78 or something like that wouldn't be appropriate. So the idea of lettering with enamel paints on a car door, to me, that's the tried and true component. I just think it's cool to see older fellas under the hood tinkering around with these cars, so why not approach it the same way with regard to putting stripes on there or numbers or anything of that nature.
With the car going back down to Sandrail, the fabrication place, out in Riverside, I was kind of waiting for them to get the, final. This was kind of naked back here, so this was one of the important parts. Yeah, I could run the car down to Baja, but without some kind of protection, on the rear end here and some skid plate, that adds weight to it. So that that simulates our trip to, doing the Peking to Paris. So I really wanted to make sure that they got the job done, but they were definitely, I don't want to say lagging. They didn't really lag because we're close to Christmas and it's they have family and they have responsibilities too. But they said they could do it in 3 days and they did it in 4 days. And that extra day, set us back a day leaving, and it's close to Christmas. With the car itself, I mean, you've got two things to test. You've got the suspension and everything you've put together, the actual car and frame and shocks and transmission and every other, working piece. And then you've got the motor. So, I mean, they're kind of two different things. So Mexico will be a good test on the actual suspension and everything else and the ride. And then we're basically loading the car up with everything that we're gonna load it up for Peking. So, as far as the motor goes, we just didn't put enough miles on it. We didn't have enough time. It's a lot of stress because the whole thing has been very, very trying because we've got deadlines and we've got, it's like getting ready for, it's getting ready for a race, basically. So this is a good simulation of actually the P2P, just preparing. Now that we have the car back from Sand Rail, we're going to decide on if this engine's going to work for us.